Hi, my name is Eli Borsch, and I decided to do my Save the World presentation on the central chimpanzee. So I chose the central chimpanzee as a subject of my presentation for many different reasons. Throughout this presentation, I'll explain why I chose the chimpanzee. They meet the criteria of the project, as well as just an animal that I found to be interesting to research and to protect rather than to eradicate. I believe that chimpanzees are an important part of science, of biology, and I'm happy to tell you why. So 115,000 central chimpanzees that are still alive. The central chimpanzee, one of the reasons that I chose them is because they're the most common chimpanzee that is still alive. So even being the most common, to have that small of a number that's alive is a reason why they need to be protected. So when doing my research, I learned that every single species of chimpanzee is unfortunately endangered. The central chimpanzee, like I mentioned before, is the most common chimpanzee, but it's still classified as an endangered species. It's the most common of the chimpanzee family. Central chimpanzees reside in Gabon, Cameroon, and the Congo. Countries, in Africa. When learning that every single species of chimpanzee was endangered, it kind of piqued my interest and brought to light a real problem that I didn't know we had with the chimpanzee population until I started researching that. So why should you choose to invest in the preservation of chimpanzees? As biologists, we all understand the importance of evolution. It is believed that the closest relative that modern humans have from their ancestors, like from the root of where we came from, is the chimpanzee. I believe that it is important to make sure that we protect and preserve the chimpanzees and their habitat so we can continue to study them and understand our roots and where we come from as human beings. Without chimpanzees, we lose that piece of the puzzle, and we're not going to be able to fully understand our history and our roots as human beings. So this is just a picture that I wanted to include. If you aren't familiar with evolution, this is the idea behind it. Just over the millions and billions of years that this earth has been around, that humans have just evolved. It's widely accepted. There's certain beliefs that don't focus on this, but I believe that's why we should protect the chimpanzee. So why not, and what challenges would we face would be the next question on the criteria. So in your pursuit of the protection of the central chimpanzees, you would run into several different obstacles. The first one is the most obvious, is the remoteness of the central chimpanzees. So central chimpanzees, like I said, are only alive in certain areas, and there's a select amount. They can't be found everywhere in the world. They're only found in the select countries in Africa, like I mentioned before. This could cause complications to arise during research and exploration to find the chimpanzees. Another challenge you could face is time. Like I said before, one of the reasons I chose the chimpanzees is because they are an endangered species. So every single species of chimpanzee is classified as endangered already. So this is important. In order to receive that classification, your species must be in a dire situation. So basically, the chimpanzees are already low numbers, way lower than they should be, way lower than they have been in the past. So in your pursuit of the central chimpanzee, you are racing against the clock. Father Time is on a mission to push species. You are trying to preserve them from the brink of extinction. So how, or what would you do? The best option would be to build a sanctuary for the chimpanzees. When the animals are in captivity, they can be closely monitored and protected. This is important because in order to save the species, we must control the population. The best way would be to provide a home for the chimpanzees where they're protected, but you could still live out their lives. This would be the best way to study them. So there are certain like conservatories and just habitats and sanctuaries for chimpanzees, but none that are really in my research that I found that you cannot go and study them just based on the pure facts of, hey, I want to study them for the evolution purposes. They're just kind of meant there to protect the species, which I believe is very important. But however, I'd like a research center added to the chimpanzee sanctuaries. So what experts back the opinion that chimpanzees are important and we need to protect them because of evolution? The founding father of evolution, I'm sure you guys already know from previous biology classes, is Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was one of the most respected scientists to ever walk the planet. Fast forward to today, evolution is widely renowned and accepted by scientists in most every field. Many of the smartest people in the world respect the idea of evolution, and there's facts behind it. Without chimpanzees being one of the foundations of evolution, the idea fades. So to conclude, I believe that we should protect the chimpanzees to be able to study them and research them, and just know who we are, and kind of relate back to that as human beings. And these are my sources, and yeah, thank you very much.